Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And we now would like to invite the CS Housing to come and just make a few remarks, then in turn invite the CS Treasury, who will in turn invite His Excellency the President. Tupige makofi tafadhali akija. Karibu sana CS.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, my colleague, Cabinet Secretary, Treasury, elected leaders present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to join you on this auspicious occasion as we celebrate the Local Authorities Pension Trust Imara rates as they mark the important milestone of trading on the National Security Exchange. This event wouldn't have come at a better time. As you are aware, the Affordable Housing Program is designed to provide decent, accessible, yet affordable housing for all Kenyans, especially those living in informal settlements, and the government has made tremendous progress in the achievement of the 200,000 housing units annually. The 2010 Constitution emphasizes the right for every person to accessible and adequate housing and reasonable standards of sanitation, and we are committed to delivering on the Kenyan Kwanza Manifesto commitment to affordable housing for all Kenyans. Your Excellency, the government is partnering with the private sector on the delivery of affordable housing, which has become an attractive investment opportunity through the provision of land countrywide, tax incentives such as VAT exemptions and preferential corporate tax, and the aggregation and financing of buyers via the Boma Yangu platform and the Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. Your Excellency, the Ministry recognizes that the Real Estate Investment Trust structure is an ideal fit not only to raise considerable finances for development, but also to support the rent-to-own, that is the tenant purchase scheme, home ownership model for Kenyans at long-term affordable rates. The REITs structure is also suitable for the financing and delivery of much-needed affordable student housing for our universities countrywide and institutional housing for our police and defense forces. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the private sector investment in affordable housing is return-driven and can be supported ably by capital market instruments like REITs and green bonds, which provide the investment liquidity required. Through the capital market, local private sector investors can participate in affordable housing, and this participation will catalyze further interest from international investors. The Ministry, through the State Department for Housing and Urban Development, has been a key driver of the REITs discussion and has been working closely with the Capital Markets Authority and Nairobi Securities Exchange on the development of innovative investment products to support affordable housing. We have also engaged local pension funds to participate in the affordable housing program to help unlock value from their illiquid land assets, and through the program and the capital markets, they can convert underutilized land into profitable cash-generating developments. Success, we have recently engaged a panel of financial experts and transaction advisors to develop these REITs and other innovative financing instruments to successfully bring together viable investment opportunities with the country's development agenda. Your Excellency, once again, I want to thank you for joining us during this occasion, and thank you for your continued support for the Affordable Housing Program. Thank you very much. And now I would want to invite my colleague, CS Treasury, to come also and give his remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. I think I want to observe all the protocols. I'm very happy that I'm seeing all the market players, people I've worked with, people who have given me ideas. So I'm very encouraged to be here, and I give it, or describe it as a distinct pleasure and privilege to be here to actually witness this occasion. I'm very happy that Lab Trust, Imara Rio Estate Investment Trust, is actually going to be listed and ring the bell right now, because it gives us quite a dimension in terms of what we think about. When I was trying to look at the speech, I was actually asking myself, Rio Estate Investment Trust is actually signaling a fixed investment. It's actually telling us behind those units that are going to be traded, there is a long-term investment, and that is a signaling for the future. It gives me great pleasure that this is coming through. Your Excellency, the RAP Trust Imara rate is restricted closed-ended Rio Estate Investment Trust that will be accommodated under the restricted segment of the main investment market of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The National Treasury appreciates that investment by purchasing rate securities in the secondary market. And of course, the vibrancy of that market is actually the multiplicity of what can be traded, the diversity of the products that are to be found in the market. And the National Treasury further appreciates that owing to the restricted nature of the Real Estate Investment Trust, the LAP Trust, that is the promoter, has committed to maintain 100% ownership of the rate securities for a period of 3 years after the listing date. For us, then it means that it gives us some diversity and confidence that the market will continue to function and exceptionally well. Your Excellency, we acknowledge that growth in real estate investment will be supported in a big way when the government prioritizes affordable housing agenda. And for us, this is very, very, very important because it's a major and a key component of Kenya Kwanza Manifesto and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Housing construction is important in inducing vibrancy in economic activities across all other sectors and create jobs at all levels. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President has reiterated that the cost of housing is a heavy burden to the majority of the Kenyans, and it's a major factor driving the proliferation of slums, or the development of slums. The government is committed to make housing more affordable, to enable more Kenyans to live in safe, dignified homes, and more importantly, create jobs and also allow room for entrepreneurships given the diverse opportunities. We believe that investing in credible income-generating assets is key to building long-term wealth, and LAPSET Imara rate is very, very important, and even Lab Trust in terms of this new product, because they are going to be regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, but more important, when they are regulated, they give confidence in terms of the market and even how they trade. And commencing trading in the Securities Exchange is a major signaling event that will ensure that the investment opportunities offers returns, and those returns can be tracked through the securities, the Nairobi securities market. And of course, if those securities can be tracked, it means that dividends will flow. Ladies and gentlemen, The government appreciates the financial institutions in Kenya that are now relooking at their role in housing sector, especially the real estate financing. This is a sector that is waiting to be discovered. This is a sector that provides adequate opportunities, but also more important long-term returns. We do appreciate that under this real estate investment trust, the Cooperative Bank of Kenya has been identified as the trustee, which in essence is going to be a very solid partner and trustee. Banks now are actually coming up with flexible options to cater for the rising housing needs, which cut across income cohorts. But we do believe that across all income cohorts, there is where returns and even vibrancy of investment is much appreciated. And we do need to discover this. For me, that is going to be very, very important to enhance and drive the investment in this area. Lastly, let me reiterate from the onset that the National Treasury believes that the interventions the government will provide and the partnership with key players like Lab Trust, Imara Rate, the challenges like high interest rates, mismatch between short-term nature of deposits and the long-term nature of mortgage real estate lending can be addressed. And having the Nairobi Securities Exchange working efficiently, it gives us great pressure to actually see that you can actually solve the mismatch and even reiterate or reintroduce new and diverse products. Let me say, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a gracious opportunity for us all to witness this. And it gives me singular honor to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of Defense Forces, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to address this group of investors. And thereafter, of course, he has rung the bell. I was actually given to understand that he will ring the bell after he has spoken. But the most important thing is that by the time he finishes his speech, we'll see how the trading is going on. But I do believe this is going to be a very important event. It is a starting point in terms of the vibrancy of this market. Your Excellency, welcome.